One of the great things about, probably for most organizations, the first thing that you would do with the SAMM is to assess where you are. Yeah, A, do you agree? And B, can you talk through how you would use SAMM from an assessment perspective?
Let's maybe take a small step back and explain what SAMM is really about. So SAMM is the Software Assurance Maturity Model, and what sets SAMM aside from a couple of other models is that it's the maturity part. So it's a maturity model in a way that it allows for organizations to understand where they are and how they can improve themselves in terms of maturity. And for that, the model itself has a couple of aspects or characteristics that are really interesting. So, and there's a couple of reasons for that. So, if you're going to start or improve your own SDL, you'll need to realize that this is something that's going to take some time and some iterations to do so. And so you have to do this in an iterative way. You also have to align this on the risk profile and the risk level of your software within your, I would say, portfolio of applications. So you have to take that into account as well. And it has to be something that helps you to understand what you can do in terms of activities. And that's where SAMM comes into play. It covers for those, but most importantly, SAMM helps you to measure those security activities that are part of your SDL. And once you can measure them, you can manage them. And so that's the whole philosophy of the model. And within that model, SAMM is built out of like a couple of 5 business functions with each 3 security practices. So in total, 15 security practices from strategy and metrics over design, implementation, verification, operations of software, where each of these practices have a certain level, being from 0 or you're not doing or you're not measuring your security practice, up until 1, you're doing that on an ad hoc basis, just as needed, towards a level 2, which is more efficiently, and you're aligning really your practice towards your software. And maybe, for instance, you're aligning your testing policy of your tooling towards application and scope. Up until a level 3, where you're fully mastering that practice, you're becoming better at it, but you're also putting feedback loops into your own SDL. So you're learning from for instance, your security tests to fix, hopefully, your software, but you also treat them as symptoms of what went wrong. Where in our software lifecycle did this bug or was this bug introduced, and how can we get to the root cause of that? And that's a level 3, I would say, type of activity. And so those are the maturity levels we have in SAMM over each of these 15 security practices. And the idea there is that you don't necessarily need to aim for the highest level for each of these security practices. But obviously, you first need to understand where you are and where you want to go with this. And that's this first step, assessing where you are currently in your current, I would say, SDL journey.